This is a Headgum podcast.
Welcome back to an episode of Perfect Person Podcast featuring me, Miles Bonsignore.
Hello and welcome to Perfect Person, the show where I'm perfect and you're a person. This last week, I went into the plunge.
What does that mean?
I took an ice plunge earlier today, and it made me feel everything.
You took an ice bath today?
Well, first of all, I got a free trial on ClassPass. That's how the fuckers really get you. They're not trying to know that you're going to pay for ClassPass after the trial, but little do they know, I got 3 credits, and I actually went to Y7, and I took the breathwork and ice plunge class for free gratis.
That's one class?
It was one class, and it was gratis
Okay.
because of the trial membership with the ClassPass.
I
was in a ice cold pool for 2 minutes, and it made me feel euphoric. Because
Really?
it's the same level of dopamine or whatever the fuck chemical makes you feel good that cocaine gives you.
Is that true?
But the only difference is, my nose don't hurt that good. The only difference is that when you get the brain chemicals that the cocaine gives you, it goes up, it spikes, and then it drops off after like 4 minutes or something like that, 8 minutes.
Sure.
With a cold plunge, you get those same spike, but it goes off after 2.5 hours.
Okay.
I'm in the studio with Geoffrey James. Geoffrey from the Headgum podcast, from the sketches of Headgum on YouTube. Did I take off my glasses, by the way?
They haven't been on since I got here.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Because you were drilling a desk.
By the way, Jeff did walk in into
Early.
Okay,
If you're on time, you're late.
yeah, so
That's
Jeff
my advice.
Jeff is early. I'm checking my phone over and over, being like, Jeff's eventually going to text me. No text. And I'm like, well, it's good. I still have 10 minutes before I even have to be outside to receive him.
Yeah.
Just in case he doesn't text me.
Sure.
I hear a knock at the door.
It was a meek one, too. I don't know
Yeah.
if you noticed that because I didn't know if you were recording before this.
No, it was weak. It was definitely weak.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it must be essentially the studio's in the back part of a house that is not mine, that belongs to a friend of mine. And I rent the studio. And Jeff has gone through the backyard, through the yard, into the studio, knocked on the door, and just come right in.
I pulled a string.
Yeah, you pulled a
I
string.
pulled a wire string that
Yeah.
opened the gate.
Kind of a complicated gate for you to just sort of do.
I know how to get through to people and through gates.
Yeah. And so then Jeff came right into the studio as I was drilling a power strip into the bottom of my desk.
Yeah, and you yelled, Jeff!
I guess I did yell your name, yeah, when you walked in.
Yeah.
I was excited to see you.
You don't have to say that.
Is that? Well, no, I was excited to see you.
We should say that I was a replacement guest. Last minute. It was, who do I know that doesn't do jack shit and it would be available on a moment's
Well, I did have a
notice.
guest cancel last minute, and so I had to find a new guest. And I've been wanting you to have on the show for a while. I was going to have you on the Riley episode that I did last time, but you were out of town.
Where was I? Michigan?
You were in Michigan or something.
No, I was in Kentucky.
You were in Kentucky. I don't know. You travel the world.
Not really. I go to bad places like
Yeah.
Kentucky.
But you were sort of out of town.
I mean, every state is beautiful.
Do you not want to be canceled by the good people of Kentucky?
I don't know, man. I talked to a child who owned a gun.
Oh,
Talked to a 7-year-old boy who knew a lot about guns. That's young to have a gun.
chilling.
Yeah.
That's chilling. But Jeff, you ever done a cold plunge?
I haven't done it, but I really want to do that. Can you do it with just cold showers, or is that not the same thing?
Okay, so I was doing that thing where I would take a shower and then at the last 60 seconds, I'm pushing a little shower timer,
Yeah.
blasting me with cold water. And that does give you a little bit
But
of
not
that
enough.
sauce, a little bit of that goodness.
Sure.
But I will say the cold plunge, what the fuck are you looking at?
Why do you have a typewriter?
Oh, because it's cool. It's actually
That is
not,
cool.
it's not a typewriter. The typewriter's here.
That's not a typewriter? What is
That's
that?
an Apple II.
Ah,
It's an ancient computer.
that's cool.
Yeah. I just like old stuff, kind of.
I like old stuff. Me too. What else do you
I
like?
feel like we're two little kids learning how to be friends. I like old stuff too. You have old stuff. Is that cool?
What do you like? And then I'll change my personality.
Well, first of all, you completely derailed the conversation, but let me go back to the golden shower part.
Yeah, sorry.
I had
New shirt, but you didn't say anything.
Yeah, so the cold shower thing, it does help. It gives you some of that sauce, but getting into the frigid little tub and someone's right there and they're saying, you got this. Only 60 more seconds. You're halfway there, babe. They didn't say babe, but in my mind it was
Might
implied.
have to tell Sarah.
I guess I have to tell Sarah the breath work and cold plunge instructors called me babe. But no,
I see
it was
a bunch
really
of suitcases outside of your house.
it was really good though. I highly recommend it actually to anybody that's interested in it, especially doing
Y7's the best place to do it.
Yeah, that's well, I have to check to make sure that's not a local yoga studio that's doxing my location.
It's a local chain.
It's a chain. Great.
Yeah, there's 3 of them.
Yes,
We should say you're closest to the Melrose location.
but I essentially like you get in. It's such a shock to your system. You just have to find your breath.
Yeah,
and you're like, it was crazy, and then it made me feel really good afterwards.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta try this. How much? But it was gratis.
It was absolutely gratis.
But that's only because you signed up for
me, Willis.
But it was gratis because I did the class.
Do you only have 8 sounds? And one of them is you're talking to me, Willis?
Yeah, it's from Will Whitwer, who's a guest on the show. Did you meet Will?
No. Maybe. A lot of your friends are really awesome and nice, but they have names like Will and John and Dan and Rob, so it's hard to find a
You named
differentiate.
2 of my friends.
Rob's not one of your friends?
Oh, well, sorry. Rob also, the editor.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have met Rob because Rob doesn't live in LA.
I zoomed with Rob. On the way to your baby shower.
Yeah, and you showed up, left early.
I didn't leave early.
You came and then you were worried you were going to...
Well, let's hang on.
You came and then you told me you were worried that you were going to upset someone, so you left.
That's not what I said. Did I say that?
You did tell me. You were like, I had a lot of fun, but I decided to get in there and get out because I didn't want... I was like, your friends are really cool and nice. I didn't want anyone to feel like I was being
I felt like I made a good impression, and the longer I stayed, the bigger the risk of souring the day.
Yeah, right.
And also, I left for my friend's bar crawl that was nearby.
Oh, nice.
But I was there for like an hour and a half.
That's good. Jeff, I do appreciate you doing the show. Now, what qualifies you as a perfect person to be on the show to take these calls, to solve these people's problems? And as you answer, I'm going to get my glasses.
BFA. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts, meaning I'm a bachelor. Awesome. I'm fine. I could be better. And my conversational skills are a work of art. What degree do you have, BA?
Yeah.
So
I do have a BA. Double major and a minor, though. So I sort of packed it full.
a minor in some shit.
You did minor? You just
No,
did,
I wanted
you just
to
did
finish
one, and
early,
then you
though.
fucked around doing bong hits and beer bongs and having a buzz ball right before class.
How did you party in college? Beer bongs and buzz balls, beer.
I've never had a buzz ball, but I did see him at the grocery store the other day, and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That looks like a wild time. Hey, you and I should get together, have some buzz balls.
We have a loose plan.
To get Negronis and clams. No, Negronis.
Oysters. Buzz balls and clams. No, we said Negronis and oysters. But you're a father. Here's what happened. We became real friends, I feel like, right before you had a kid. And so I've
Yeah.
been trying to not invite you to too much
For sure.
because I feel like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, he's busy as a kid.
He stays in the bed, sleeping through the night. And as long as either Sarah or I is at home, the other person can go out and do something.
Yeah.
Like we could go get Negronis and clams or whatever.
Well, I want Sarah to come.
Oh, I know. Well, then we could get a babysitter.
Yeah, but then you're losing money because of me.
No, but it would be for the joy of our friendship.
That's not a price that you're willing to pay.
Well, got it, Jeff. So you're a BFA, and that's what sort of qualifies you. What is some blanket advice that you have for the audience before we get into the calls?
I haven't necessarily put this into action yet, but I do think that you have to take financial opportunities by the balls.
Okay. I mean, I definitely am a agreeer in that you should have the most cash they could possibly have.
Right, but that's not good advice.
What do you mean?
The good advice would be like, it's possible for you. It's all there.
My mentality around cash has always been you got to give to get.
So how much are you giving away each month?
Not giving away, giving to me as a special little gift for being a good boy. So it's like
I agree. No,
I
you
had
need
a
balance.
Snickers ice cream the other day, and that was a gift for me. I didn't know I wanted it until I walked into the convenience, and then I got it.
Okay. And that's your financial advice?
Because mentally, you have to be in a place where you're willing to spend cash to get it.
Yeah. Let's cut this out, Rob, and let's replace it with a song.
Yeah. Well, the phone lines are ringing off the damn hook. Let's open them up and get into the calls, Jeff. But before we do, if you like the show, you can consider subscribing so you don't miss an episode. And if you love the show, if this is your favorite freaking thing, you can consider joining the Patreon where we have extended versions of every single episode, including this one, where we kind of talked shit a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
that was pretty tame.
We were sort of talking some shit.
Yeah.
Talking some numbers. And you can get that ad-free and also exclusive episodes to Patreon every single Friday. Most recently, I got drunk and took calls. Previous to that, we did the Cranberry Spectacular where we had cranberry juice and we discussed it.
Did you have a UTI? Is that why you did that?
No, I just think the taste is good.
Oh.
Let's get into the calls here.
Hi, Miles. I'm calling for some advice because my roommate shat on the floor of our house recently and decided that she didn't want to clean it up. And we're just trying to figure out how to deal with that, just in general. All right, call me back. Bye.
What a twofer. To shit on the floor and then also be like, that's not mine to clean up is brave.
Let's hear her out because I want to know what prompted the shat.
Right, was it an IBS? Was it a drunken eve?
Yeah, was it just for fun?
Hello,
you called perfect person, and I'm here to call you back. I'm here with Geoffrey James to find out who shat on your floor.
Crazy one to start with, by the way.
Oh, my God. No way.
How's your day going, and what would you like a fake name so we can refer to you properly?
Yes.
May I offer Sandy?
Sandy. Well, Sandy, we're going to need to know all about this. Essentially, somebody pooped on your floor and they don't want to clean it up. Who's your roommate? Who are the key players in the situation?
Okay, so I live with 3 people in like a house or like a townhouse. And one of my roommates, we should probably give her a fake name too.
Let's use real name for her.
No. Sorry. Let's give her social. We'll put her social and last, first name, middle, initial, last. Sandy and, how about this? Mandy.
You do this every week. You do this twice a week sometimes. You can't come up with a name?
Oh my God. Okay, yeah.
Sandy and Mandy. Yeah.
So I'm actually out of town right now, but Mandy texted in our house group chat saying like, hey guys, you'll never believe what happened. I was like getting changed in my room and all of a sudden I just shat on the floor. And I don't know how she expected us to react because like, what do you say to that? And I think she thought it was like a ha-ha funny cute, but it was not. And so
it's not a ha-ha funny cute to shit on the floor.
That's also maybe the first time I've ever...
No, not exactly.
Usually when people are like, you'll never believe it.
Yeah.
I can believe it. That's a genuine, I don't believe that.
You'll never believe it, embarrassed emoji. I pooped all over myself and the floor. Oh. Was this the cold light of day? She's just sort of in her room in the middle of the day pooping?
This was literally yesterday, like at noon. In the middle of the day.
And she's still currently it's there still as we speak.
So we don't really know because we don't want to go in. So here's the thing. Here's the worst thing is that she texted us that we were all like, what the hell? Like, what is going on? Like, clean it up, ? And she was like, oh, well, I'm going to visit my parents this weekend. I don't have time.
What? That is so
you make time.
Crazy.
You make time for cleaning shit off the floor.
Dump on the floor, you have to make time to clean. That's so crazy.
You would think.
What now?
You would think.
Is this indicative of this person's other?
I was about to
behaviors?
ask. Yeah. What is Mandy like normally?
100%. Like if this was gonna happen with anybody in our house, it would for sure be her.
Wild Mandy. She's always dumping.
Not a fun wild.
No.
Not a fun kind of wild.
Like what other types of things has she done on your premises?
Okay, like I think she's going through a lot. I don't know. She doesn't really talk about it.
Not a good excuse.
It's very like messy and will like come home like late at night, make a total mess, wake us all up, just go crazy. And then the next day when we ask her to like clean up her mess or like, hey, can you not come in and scream and use our bathroom and whatever, then she'll like just has a little bit of a victim complex. So it's like, it's never her problem. It's always just like us yelling at her. So that's what makes this situation a little tough.
It sounds like Mandy's obsessed with shitting. Because she comes in late at night and goes to the bathroom and goes crazy in there.
She goes crazy.
Yeah, probably.
She goes wild in there. She's going wild in the kitchen, screaming like by herself. Like, this is feral. It's just like, oh my God. But I mean, yeah, what do you do in this situation? I think you say like, hey, you have to, like, this is like borderline expellable. Like,
yeah,
you can't be dumping. By the way, and I have to ask, is it a carpeted floor?
It is a carpeted floor. Well, sorry, not carpeted floor. It's an area rug.
Okay, so get rid of the rug, I think, for her. That's like a good.
How she said that she was. I don't want to belabor the grossness, but I'm like, scientifically, she was like, can you read the text verbatim to us?
Yeah, please. It's
oh my God. Okay, wait 1 second. Let me try
so funny to be packing for a weekend away and just go, oh no.
No, but she was changing. Like, how could she have been changing?
Okay, so she literally said, you guys, you'll never believe this. And then one of my roommates said, what? And she said, I was just changing and I shat on the floor. And we were like, what? Where? And then she says, in my room, LOL.
Oh my God.
And so then literally 10 minutes passes and no one says anything. And so,
that's so funny.
Make a new, or we already have a new group chat with the other three of us. And we're like, what the fuck
Everyone
is
but
going
Mandy
on? So,
chat.
My parents are home. I'm out of town. And so no one's gone in there to see it, but she left. She did leave.
I mean, this is so crazy. Like, I guess it's in her room. So
no way you're defending Mandy.
I guess in the comfort of her own room, her safe space, dumping in my safe space.
No, because it's not a safe space because dumping at all smells bad. Leaving it for a weekend away, it's gonna permeate the entire loft.
I'm about to introduce you to your new favorite lunch and or dinner and or brekkie if you're feeling that fine. Get more bang for your bite with America's best value meal kit. Every plate is 25% cheaper than grocery shopping with no hidden fees, so you can count on great value week after week. I used Every Plate and they sent me a heaping pile of ingredients and a recipe fit for a king. So I got to town on the thing and I was able to make something yummy without really having to think too hard about it, and it was delicious and it was made with fresh stuff. Choose Every Plate over takeout to save money while still enjoying quick, satisfying meals. Their meals are 50% cheaper than your average fast casual meal. They're the easiest way to eat affordably. Put the money you save towards making fun summer plans. Food can be so damn expensive. You go to the grocery store and you're like, how did I end up spending this much money? Every Plate is doing their best to give you a quality amount of ingredients with a delicious amount of recipe with the actually good price. I've been enjoying their sweet chili pork tacos. Obviously, I'm a porky guy and I love to make a little taco. They're sending you the perfect amount of cabbage. They're sending you the perfect amount of the zesty crema, and they're sending you peanuts that are gonna go in the taco to make it delish. Also, their offer is super wild and incredibly affordable. Get $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and enter code 49perfect. Get started with Every Plate for just $1.49 per meal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code 49perfect. That's up to $110 value, baby. If you're a fan of fancy products and you actually are somebody that's raising a little child or a baby, then you're gonna want to know about Coterie. Because Coterie has saved me so many times by how absorbent it is and actually how nice it makes me feel that it seems like a luxury product. I've got a little baby boy and he was absolutely tinkling in the night through his diaper, through the sheets, and we got a bunch of Coterie diapers shipped to the house, and I gotta say, they just capture that tinkle way better than another diaper. I am telling you that you're going to be getting up less in the nighttime because your baby's not going to be waking up because they've actually peed through everything. And it's actually such a good product that I wholeheartedly agree with. I've been using them since the jump of when my baby arrived at my house as my roommate, and we have not looked back. Coterie diapers are designed to minimize leaks, blowouts, and diaper rash so you and your baby can enjoy more comfortable, dry, uninterrupted sleep. Coterie products are fragrance-free, hypoallergenic, and made with responsibly sourced plant-based materials, all while feeling as soft as cashmere on your baby's bum. I like the product, I like the branding, I think my baby likes it because also they're extra absorbent and he's gotta have that absorbent diaper. It's time you use a better diaper, and right now Coterie is partnering with my podcast to offer you 20% off your first subscription order plus free shipping at coterie.com, promo code PERFECTPERSON. That's Coterie, spelled COTERIE.com, promo code PERFECTPERSON for 20% off your first subscription order and free shipping. Coterie.com, promo code PERFECTPERSON. I think that you guys I think that one of you needs to say, hey, look, Mandy, this was really out of line. I know that it was probably an accident, but when something like this happens, it's okay. Oh, here's how you connect with her.
Yeah.
Instead of taking that route, actually just be like, hey, if something like this happens, I get that it can be embarrassing, but you have to clean it up for our consideration. Because I think if you go aggressive, like you said, she can feel like a victim to herself sometimes. And you don't want to victim
she's
blame.
doing crazy stuff. Like, forget the shit. She's a bad roommate. It sounds like otherwise.
Yeah.
She's coming in late at night and screaming, you said?
Screaming and going through the kitchen like a tornado.
Exactly. Well, okay, so one of my roommates, so she left yesterday evening. I don't know if it's still there because I'm not home right now, but one of my roommates has been texting her and was like, hey, like, I don't know what's going on, but like, if there's a mess in your room, like, you have to like call a maid service to like come and clean it up. And she got really defensive and was like, I'm not paying for that. So I think she might have her boyfriend come and get her rug later today, but that's not definite. And
how's that relationship?
Yeah, it sounds like a good relationship that they've got, though. I mean, it takes a good...
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how
partner.
that's going.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I know I just left town, but can you go, I shit on the floor. Can you go take my rug?
What's that?
Can you believe my roommates asked you to do that?
You're asking me to do it.
We're for requesting that we don't have literal human waste in our home.
Yeah.
Right. Low bar. I don't know if the bar goes lower than that for roommates.
And you know what? Like, I would feel bad for Mandy if she was like, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, this embarrassing thing happened.
Accident.
I had an accident.
I don't know what happened.
I feel sick or something. Like, but her attitude and mentality around it was like, I shit on the floor. LOL. Like,
not funny. What's funny about that?
What's funny? Like, we're all scared for you.
Yeah,
10 minutes of zero group chatting. You should know that we're mad.
She's a Shatmanian devil, it sounds like.
Yeah. I love when a group chat just grinds to a halt. Like, it's like everyone's having fun. Someone said something, no responses.
We were like excited for like what she was going to say. Because anytime she says like, guess what? Like, it's usually something crazy, but it's not like that.
I think you got to move. Because you can't kick her out because of her victim complex. And also, like, she should probably just squat and shit. And so I would move out. But I have a low tolerance and threshold for, like, roommate woes that start way before shitting on the floor and leaving it for a weekend.
Yeah, this is such a, like, next level final move for her that I think that, like, I mean, it sounds like, do you still, like, I guess, what do you like about Mandy?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
So we like all used to really be like close friends, and then Mandy like sort of like went off the deep end.
Mandy.
And I mean, I feel bad for her. I think she's going through a lot, but at the same time, like, there's very few redeeming qualities at this point.
That's okay. How old are you? Can I ask how old you are?
22.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
I think you change every year so much, especially in your early 20s, that like your friends will change and sometimes in a way that you don't vibe with or feel like is going in a different direction. I mean, are you interested in the direction of shitting on a carpet and leaving it?
Not really, no. That's not really.
I think that's okay then.
I think it also is like, because you say Mandy's going through a lot, I'm guessing that like you don't have to get into details about that, but I'm guessing that she has a lot going on, and this is sort of like her attitude and behavior is probably her compensating for like, oh, whatever, it's not a big deal, like, because it is like a little bit of a big deal, but she has other big deal stuff going on in her life. So I think that's probably why you want to approach her with just a level of like, hey, like, it's okay, but I think just we just want to clean, you know what I mean? Like, if you approach her with a softness, sometimes that'll allow people to realize what they're doing is not like, because I think if you approach her with anger, she's like, whatever, it's fine. Like, you know what I mean? But if you're like, hey, like, I just want to know that, like, well, you have to clean up. It's hard to be like, whatever, it's fine. It's like, yeah. Okay. Like, it's like, it really makes people feel crazy.
Yeah.
So I think you got to go in soft, and hopefully she doesn't go in soft again.
Yeah. And I think my take on friendships or growing apart or feeling like someone's different than they used to be, I think like having a history is not enough of a reason to have someone be like very present in your life still. If she's changed, and you know, you can leave space for empathy for like, oh, she is going through a lot. But when it gets to a place of she's shitting on a carpet and leaving it, you know, for several days, it's like you're well within your right to put some distance there if you need or if you want. I don't know. I would move out.
Yeah, I would definitely be moving out, or just like
moving out.
I'm moving out. I want the world to.
I want a clean carpet.
I think I probably would move out, or just not even associate with Mandy at all.
I would I would dissociate physically, and I would also sever the ties.
Well, I'm sorry you're going through this, Sandy, and I hope you can figure out the situation with Mandy. But yeah, again, go in soft. Just because if you have to live with someone, like, you don't want to create a volatile situation where she then gets angry and then somebody gets defensive. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's worse than her being crazy. Is it her being crazy and then having the like whole chemicals of the situation explode?
Yeah, and you don't want to start like a war, because then she would have a license to say all's fair and shit on floor.
You were teeing that up.
Yeah.
I actually wrote that down on a note card before we started the episode.
Before we took your call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping no one involved listens to this, because I really don't want this to get back to her.
You think she listen to the podcast?
I don't think that she does, but like, I don't know how many people know at this point. So
if it's just so crazy to do what she did and then be defensive.
Right.
So if it gets back to her,
it's okay to do what she did. It's totally okay. But because stuff happens, maybe she was sick, whatever, who knows? But then to defend it is really hard. It's tough. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and you have a fantastic day.
And can we keep her on the line as we take another call?
No, I wish. That's a good idea for a webisode, though.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate the call back.
Do you have anything to plug? Social media, projects, or
she's anonymous?
Oh, right. Sorry.
Well,
Imodium would be great.
Imodium. Thanks, guys. Everyone, go out there and get your Imodium. Bye.
Are you dealing chemicals now? What's Imodium?
Yeah, we're brought to you by Big Pharma.
What?
Imodium.
What is Imodium?
Imodium stops. It gives you stops.
Oh.
If you're having the runs, it's going to give you stops.
I'm regular, so I don't know anything about that kind of medicine.
That's really good. Honestly, and that is a good idea, by the way, Jeff. What you said
Being
earlier.
regular?
No.
Oh.
What you said earlier about, here's what we can do is I do an episode where it's a snowball. So the first caller stays on.
Okay.
And then we get a second caller and they stay on.
That's really good.
Third caller, and then at the end it's like five.
You could call it the Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
That is really, really good. I like that. Because then it's like the girl whose roommate shit on the floor giving advice to someone who's like, I experienced heartbreak for the first time.
Yeah.
And you get to really hear people sort of talk to each other.
I love that. And it also did kind of laterally give me an idea for the Headgum podcast. I'd love for you to be involved. Instead of snowball, it's snow globe. So I'm thinking this December we do an episode where it's literally raining fake snow, snowing fake snow.
The whole time?
The whole show is a snow globe moment. It's so special that we want to capture it.
Yeah. How do you have fake snow going into the studio?
I'm picturing, for those who don't know, we have two producers at Headgum, Casey and Anya. I'm picturing Casey and Anya standing on footstools, kind of just shaking the fucking
maracas.
No, fake snow from a box.
Okay, got it. Let's take another call here. Oh, this is really good. We got to help someone out.
Hi, Miles. My problem is that I'm at work right now and I want to take a break. So if you call me, I'll be able to step outside for a sec. Please call me back.
We got to give someone a break from their job. Let's go ahead and give them that break.
No way.
Hello, you called perfect person because you needed a break from your
Shut
job, and we're here to give you a call, and you have to tell your job that it's a personal call that's really important.
Miles, you'll never believe. I got let off work early. So thank you very much for that. And you know what? You're a supporter of workers' rights, so I'm going to thank you for that as well.
Absolutely.
You're
Definitely
really helping me out here.
Definitely a supporter of workers' rights. What is your job, by the way? I'm here with Geoffrey James, by the way.
Oh, hello, Geoffrey.
Namaste. Happy day.
Thank
You're
you.
off work.
A very happy day.
And what do you do for work?
Miles, you'll never believe it. I am a barista.
Love a
At
barista.
Starbucks, what are we thinking?
We talking-
Caribou coffee?
No.
Are we talking the coffee
Jeff,
bean and tea
Jeff,
leaf? And
we talking independent coffee shop?
Oh my God. I don't work at a Starbucks, thankfully. I work at a small coffee shop in the suburbs of Philadelphia.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Westchester?
Philadelphia.
What was that?
Westchester or?
No, the other side of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
I'm like about 15 minutes from the northeast. Are you familiar?
No, I'm not at all. I only know Westchester.
I don't know why he clarified for you because he doesn't know anything. He asks you a question. You don't feel the need to respond. By the way, that's awesome as a barista. And by the way, but you know what? I'm going to negative shout out Starbucks because they're sucking ass right now.
In what regard?
They're fucking.
They literally are.
They're union busting and doing all this fake
Union
ass
busting.
bullshit.
They're busting people's
At a
chops,
time
sure.
No, they're doing more than job busting. But anyway, so I'm glad that you got a break from your job. Well, now that we've got you on the horn and you got your break that you deserved, do you have any problems you need us to solve?
Yeah, I actually do, and I've called in multiple times. You ignored me.
Miles, come on.
So honestly, hey, I'm gonna take right this moment to apologize.
You talking to me, Willis?
All right, let's hear the problem.
I am talking to you, Willis. All right, well, let me tell you about my problem. I'm going into my junior year of college, and I am moving into my first off-campus apartment, and I'm living with 3 other girls. 2 girls I have lived with before, and we're all good. Now, the 3rd girl is new, and we have... Actually, can you give me a fake name so I can,
Cleopatra.
Straighten out?
Cleopatra.
I love it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Cleopatra, me, and the roommate I don't like, what's her name?
Garbage.
Well, okay.
So me and Garbage kind of want the same bedroom. I really don't want to start any drama, but I really want this room. Now, when we did sign the lease, she kind of half verbally claimed it. But I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to be living there. I'm going to be living there for the next 2 years, and he's graduating.
So here's a question for you, Cleopatra. I'm only asking this just to sort of do my due diligence, but is it possible that Garbage is actually a good person and that her need of having the room is putting you at odds?
I don't think so.
I
It's about
don't think
garbage.
that's putting us at odds.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Personality-wise, what do you not like?
Yeah.
Garbage, personality-wise, my current roommate, who I've known since freshman year, she's one of my best friends.
Love her.
Her and Garbage are in the same major. So
Okay.
no matter what, like if she moves out, my roommate is going to be stuck with her regardless. So I really have to be cordial with Garbage.
Got it.
Now, my roommate had to get a screen protector, or not a screen protector, like a privacy screen, because Garbage was looking at her phone and reading off our text.
Oh, a little peeping Tom.
A little peeping Garbage, yeah.
Peeping
And
trash.
She tries to one-up people a lot. She tried to one-up said roommate who had to get the privacy screen. My roommate had a pretty devastating house fire when she was younger, and she was just like kind of talking to us about that. Now, Garbage wanted to let us know that she was actually born on 9/11. And yeah, this crickets.
Not the same.
The crickets
trauma,
are correct.
I don't think.
No. It's not. And it's not. And she also keeps bringing up this house fire to my roommate as like, I don't know, like she's like making jokes about it and just like an unsavory light.
Wait, she's making jokes about your roommate's house fire?
Absolutely.
How do you feel better that we called her garbage?
Okay, because sometimes I get worried. I'm going to be honest with you, Cleopatra. Sometimes... Did you just fall down a well?
Wait, I'm sorry, what was that?
Sorry, did you just fall down a well? Sorry. Okay, so what just happened in your life that sound was made?
I'm sitting outside my mom's work, which is the local library, and they're picking up the drop-off books. Oh. And so a big cart just rolled by. Gotcha. So disregard that.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. Because, look, to be honest, when somebody calls in and they say, everyone in the house hates this one person, I get worried because I'm wondering, is there sort of a mean girl situation? Is there a mean girl situation, going on, which can sometimes happen? That being said, I think that's good to be cognizant of in any circumstance that no one's being ganged up on. Now, if you are living in a living situation and somebody has a house fire and you're sort of poking light fun at that, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's going to be on garbage. Now, I am going to firmly ask you to not live with this person or figure out a way around your living situation because it's not going to be good for you because you don't like garbage. It's not going to be good for garbage because you don't like garbage. Yeah.
Exactly.
Anything that annoys you about someone before you live together will be 15 times worse when you live together.
Yeah.
Living with your best friends where you have no drama really before you move in still can prove to be difficult.
Yeah.
You got to make sure garbage doesn't live with you somehow, some way.
We signed this lease.
Say it with me. Leases were meant to be broken. I've broken 2 leases in my life and it's fine. It really is. Yeah. You just need to find a replacement that would work better. And I would strongly urge you to do that. I know it's anxiety inducing, but you're really, it's going to be bad if you don't.
Having an awkward situation once, teach a man to awkward, he'll fish for a lifetime.
And that didn't make any sense, but what he meant to say was
that. Let me finish.
So press the fart.
An awkward situation now will save you a year of awkwardness versus being like, I don't want to have an uncomfortable thing where garbage is mad at me. Garbage is going to be mad at you for a whole year because your living situation is going to be bad.
Awkward and bad.
And she's going to be annoyed with you because you don't like her and she's going to sense that. And it's all going to be bad.
I feel like garbage does sense that. Garbage.
So they will,
does sense that.
Because they're probably feeling anxious. If they sense it, they're feeling anxious, and they are like, oh my god, like there's friction already, and we haven't even moved in. Yeah. They're nervous, so give them the out. You could look at it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all feeling anxious. So garbage and my roommate who had the house fire are in the same major.
What's the major? Just so we can paint a picture.
Yeah, deaf ed. Oh no! Wait, can I tell you guys why she's also garbage?
The major is deaf education.
Deaf education. So they're learning sign language to teach in a deaf classroom.
That's
cool.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
It is really cool. I'm picking up some sign. So, but garbage is taking it to an extent where she's making it a bit of her personality when she is a hearing person, and I know I can't really speak to this. My roommate, who I keep referring to, who had the fire, one of her siblings is deaf, and so she finds it really frustrating.
Totally.
Yeah.
When she just kind of, I don't know. I'm just giving you. I'm really shitting on her right now. I'm shitting on garbage.
These are bad things.
These are bad things. No, loud and clear. And again, I'm on the phone with you, so I'm just going to advise you. But if I was on the phone with garbage, I'd also be telling garbage to move out. The end result is the same.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you may be an unreliable. I'm going to trust you as a reliable narrator, but even if you weren't, I still would say that you should move out of this situation. The end result of the advice is still the same. Do not live with this person.
Nix that lease.
And again, you can figure someone to replace you. You can find someone to replace garbage. And again, it doesn't matter if garbage is going to be upset with you in the short term. Well, I think you can just be like, look, guys, we're trying to figure out what the best living situation is. I feel like we have some things and I just don't know that we're going to be able to resolve them. It's all going to be fine, but have the awkward experience now and sip that martini later.
Yeah.
Have that Trader Joe's peanut butter filled pretzel later. Have that ice cream sandwich later. But right now, you're going to need to eat some humble pie.
My favorite pie.
Ad break.
Thank you for calling in. You have a fantastic evening.
Thank you.
And, I'm glad that we tried to give you a break from work, but instead we changed your life forever.
That's really...
And you know what? That is so true. And I will never be able to repay you. Thank you so much, Miles. And I'm sorry, what's your name?
Geoffrey
James.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
Jeffrey James.
Have a great evening.
All right. I'm
Namaste.
looking forward to listening. Bye.
All right, wonderful.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Am I not memorable?
No, I think you're memorable.
I have to introduce myself like 8 times to people.
You're a
before they
memorable
make it.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way.
You don't have to say that.
You're caustic a little.
What do you mean?
Jesus, exactly what I mean. Have you ever had a bad living situation like that?
Yeah.
You did? In college?
Right after college, we lived in this really small, what was like an Airbnb that they decided to rent long term. And so it was not built to last. It was paper thin walls. The whole house was not that much bigger than the studio, but with walls.
Jesus.
And it was a 3-bedroom.
Yeah.
And my roommate, just like our beds, the only way to put our beds in both of our rooms were against the same wall, paper thin walls. He was a real snorer, which is like fine. Like I'm not judging him for that, but I didn't get a wink of sleep that year.
Because he snored so loud it was through the wall?
I'm not exagerating. I slept 5 hours a night that whole year. Luckily, I was in a relationship at the time, so I mostly slept at her place, but she lived so far away from everything I needed to do.
You're going to say, luckily I was in a relationship at the time, so I wasn't sleeping much anyway.
That would have been way cooler. But you know, it's also not sexy when it's
hard to... Did you spit on the microphone?
Just a little bit. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So many people have spit on this microphone before.
Anyone famous?
Yeah, a lot of famous.
Who? Most famous person on the show?
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne was not on the show.
Simon Cowell.
Not
Simon
on the show.
Pegg.
Not on the
Simon
show.
and Garfunkel.
Both of them did not show up to the studio.
I wish. Who's the dream guest that you could have on the Headgum podcast?
Already got him.
No, it's not me.
It was, and then we got you, and now it's like, what's
nice.
next?
Yeah, you sort of you shot the last buffalo.
Conan O'Brien,
biggest
biggest podcast in the industry. So obviously doing the cross promo would be great. But he's my comedy idol.
Is the podcast big in this?
Oh,
industry?
100%.
You think so?
I think so.
Emma Chamberlain.
And I meant like a hard comedy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Emma Chamberlain may be my dream guest.
Emma Chamberlain would be so good on the show.
She would be so charming and cool and funny, and I think she's great.
Because I fear that you wouldn't be able to handle Chamberlain.
Oh my fucking God, I've never been so livid at you. I would be a fantastic foil for Chamberlain to sort of
Foil, you're both joyful.
We're both joyful, exactly. We'd be able to talk about joy.
Joyful foils would be a good co-hosted show with you guys.
Joyful foils would be really good. Spotify exclusive.
Yeah.
So
at the very least, you could get a Chamberlain coffee sponsorship.
Oh my God! To even walk the ground that Chamberlain sips on.
Yeah. To grind the grounds of Chamberlain's coffee would be a revelation.
No, I think there's a lot of people I want on the show. It is sort of a fun thing.
Name 2. Name 3.
Name 3?
3 dream guests.
All right, Emma Chamberlain is absolutely one.
She's in. Who else?
She's in. So one that would be really terrifying to me, but I think would be a great guest would be Z-Way.
I don't think you should have zero.
Like, I think she would eviscerate me
of course.
in front of my peers.
Yes.
As much as she does, but I think she's just such a funny person to me.
She's funny from a distance for sure. I wouldn't ever want to be on camera with her.
Really? Because you're just
No, because she would I'm so easily poked holes through.
Right.
Number 3, round it out.
Oh man. You know who I was thinking recently?
Gavin Newsom. Governor Gavin Newsom, because you have ideas about water.
President Donald Trump.
I think even the fact that you gave him the title of president. I'll say Mr. because it's actually disrespectful. Mr. Because he has a higher title. That's like calling a doctor. If you were a doctor, I would call you Mr. Well, I wouldn't. I would treat you with reverence and I'd call you Dr. Bonsignore. But I'm saying if you were, forget it.
Yeah.
If you were a bad guy like Trump and you were a doctor, I would call you Mr.
Also, Billie Eilish would be really good, I think.
William Eilish?
Billie Eilish.
Oh, okay.
I think she would be good. She would be funny and charming and cool.
I think she would lean. I'm not going to do an impression.
No, I'd love to hear your impression of Billie Eilish. Do you have one?
I don't have one, but I'll do one right away.
You're doing a Billie Eilish impression off the cuff?
Be like,
yeah.
Right. And this, that, and the other. And I said, no, cut this, Rob.
Sorry, no. That was terrible. That was a
wasn't
terrible
bad.
impression. It was, you said, oh, and this, that, and the other. You didn't even do a voice.
She talks kind of normal.
I guess she does talk kind of normal.
If you don't cut that out, I'm going to...
You were so strung out, and it's going to be in the final episode. I promise you that I will be exporting a cut with that clip in it. I don't promise
Conan
much.
O'Brien.
Actually, let me finish. I don't promise much. But I'll promise that clip will be in the episode.
And not only that, that's the TikTok clip. That's the pull for social media. That is bad for you.
That's
bad
the
for
pull.
views.
That's the clip. That's the audio. That's
Conan O'Brien,
Yeah.
Conan Gray, Dorian Gray.
Too many Grays, too many Conans.
Really? How do you figure?
I think that Ira Glass,
There's no way.
I would love to have on this show.
Do you think, and I don't want to be too blue,
Yeah.
do you think Ira Glass likes eating ass?
Let me just think about that for 1 second.
Yeah.
Today we're eating ass.
Yeah.
Let's take another call.
Another caller? I didn't even get to do my 3 guests.
Being a daddy, it's all about having those good toys that your child's going to enjoy, that you also are actually going to enjoy. Because when I'm sitting down on the ground at 6 a.m. with my little boy, all I can think about is I actually want to play with the toys too. He's spinning the little thing with the marble inside, and I'm going to also need to be squeezing the thing that makes a squeaky noise. And that's just me being honest, okay? The toys that my child loves that are developing his brain in different ways are also the toys that I like to play with at 6:30 in the morning. As a new parent, you want to set your little one up with skills to last them a lifetime, and KiwiCo makes it fun and easy with activities tailor-made for your baby. We've been getting the KiwiCo crates every couple months, and I gotta tell you that my little guy loves the toys. He got this little cube that crinkles, and I gotta tell you, it is his favorite thing out of all the toys that he has. He just cannot seem to figure out how to put the entire thing in his mouth, but he's absolutely loving trying to do it every single day. Each Panda Crate includes expert-backed activities to help babies at every stage learn by doing what they do best, playing and exploring. Foster brain-building play with KiwiCo. Right now, get 50% off your first month plus free shipping at KiwiCo.com. Promo code PerfectPerson. That's KiwiCo.com, promo code PerfectPerson. If you're looking for toys that are cool and fun to play with for your little baby, highly recommend KiwiCo. Go ahead and check them out, babies! Sometimes when I'm trying on clothes, I forget what I look like, and I don't even know what's going to look good on my thighs and or body. What I would love is for someone to say, hey, by the way, you're going to look good in those jeans, or actually this t-shirt's going to make you look hot. That's why I turned to Stitch Fix to get the star treatment with my own personal stylist. With Stitch Fix, you'll have access to real stylists who will work with you to create a wardrobe that is tailored just for you. I have a guesstimate of maybe what I think might look good on me, but I really want someone to tell me what they think might look good on me. Stitch Fix is the best way to discover new styles and brands just for you. Think of Stitch Fix as your style partner. And boy, do we all need a style partner, because we be styling. I hopped on there, answered my questions, and was greeted with me trying to challenge my fashion norms, which is something I've been working on a lot lately, and Stitch Fix is going to help me execute that. I often feel like I don't really know my style, and it was nice to get a catered group of clothes I think are going to look really nice on me. What I'm absolutely jazzing about is that I am in my shorts era. I'm absolutely going to be stunting with my gams out thanks to Stitch Fix. Try Stitch Fix today at stitchfix.com/perfectperson and you'll get 25% off when you keep everything in your fix. That's stitchfix.com/perfectperson for 25% off today. stitchfix.com/perfectperson. Okay, Here we go. We have got another one.
Hi, Miles. Basically, I have a lesbian dilemma for you, and I need you to help me solve it. I think I've been done wrong by a friend, and I'm debating cutting them off. And I need you to help me. I need you to weigh in.
Lesbian frenemy dilemma.
Hello.
Hello. I'm here with Geoffrey James from Perfect Person, and I'm here
Namaste.
to call you back to help you with your lesbian dilemma.
Oh my fucking God. I'm literally at work, but I don't care. I just ran to the bathroom and hit.
What is your job? And is it okay that you're leaving? You're an ER.
Yeah.
You work in the ER.
Yeah, no, I'm actually a surgeon. Right now.
I just left open heart surgery to answer your call.
Yes, I left open heart surgery. My patient is on the table. No, I am a hostess at a restaurant, but it is raining where I'm at right now. So, like, nobody wants to go outside and eat.
Oh, wow. I see. That makes sense. Okay, well, what is your lesbian dilemma? And we're going to call you
Ganty.
Ganty.
Ganty with a D?
With a G.
With a G.
With a
Ganty.
G.
Yeah,
Ganty.
as in garish
Wonderful.
Ganty.
Okay, Garris Ganty. So my lesbian dilemma, well, I am a lesbian, and I met this girl at work, and she is very cute, and so I was like, are you gay? And she was like, yeah, and then, you know, as it goes, we started to get really close, and I asked her out on a date, like a month into meeting because I was really into her, and she said no because I had just turned 18 and she had just turned 20. And so she was like, like maybe that's a little too young, which, you know, I understand.
Okay.
But we remained to be friends, and she kept treating me like her girlfriend. And so, like, I got really confused, and, like, she would talk to me like I was her partner. I would, like, take on the role of, like, things that a girlfriend would do. I would drive her everywhere because she didn't have her license, and, like, we would hang out all the time. We would go on, like, romantic dates. It was so strange. And, like, I would always bring her gifts. I would always, like, buy her food and, like, give her free weed and stuff like that. And she eventually, like, 6 months in, was like, oh, I have feelings for you. And I was like, great, because I still have feelings for you.
Yeah.
And then that's where things started to take a turn.
No.
Yeah. So basically, I felt like I got the okay to, like, move things towards, like, a little more romantic. So, you know, started getting more touchy. And, like, she slept over at my house. But, like, all we did was cuddle the whole night, which was, like, I don't know. It was strange. Like, that's totally fine. You can cuddle. But, like, she made it sound like something was going to happen. And then, like, she wasn't giving me those vibes. I didn't want to push it. And long story short, she posted me a month later, said she had too much anxiety to be in a relationship and just completely, like, iced me out. And I was like, I don't understand what's happening.
Oh, interesting.
After being ignored for 2 weeks, she calls me up again and is like, I'm sorry, I still have feelings for you. I just need us to be friends. And I need you to not date anyone because I'm going to have anxiety about who you're with. And I was like, that's okay. So I didn't, literally, I didn't see anyone. And so more months go by and I'm not seeing anyone and things aren't really changing between us. Like, our friendship is still romantic. And I started to get a little bit, like,
resentful,
confused, and I was like, resentful, because I was like, nothing's happening, like, we haven't even kissed, I don't understand, like, do you want to be with me?
Right.
And after 10 months of this, like, back and forth, she's like, actually, we're just friends, I don't want to be with you, you should date other people. And I was like,
Oh, that
later to find out, sleeping with people the whole time.
This is not a good person.
This is not a perfect person at the very least.
Or at the very least, like, this is not a perfect person, not someone that is equipped to be doing what it is that they're doing.
You can't. Yeah. They were already wrong for being like, I am like, okay. Everything sounded fine until they were like, we're not going to date, and I don't want you to see other people.
But then also,
you cannot do that.
Leading you on, getting the emotional value of you as a partner, and also they knew probably the whole time that they were, like, getting those benefits and wanting to feel liked by you. Yeah. But then getting like other needs they had met elsewhere. This is not like a person that has their shit figured out. And I think that probably, like, if
that's what I thought.
Yeah. That's so wacky. Well, one, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I guess, like, what do you need? Do you need help on moving on? Do you need help on what do you do with the situation?
There's a little more.
Okay.
There's a little more. So recently I went to go get all my stuff from her house. I went to go get like all of my like clothes, my weed, my video games, all the important stuff.
Honestly,
you sound awesome,
by the way, clothes, weed, and video games, absolutely fucking bomb.
Yes, the necessities. And she left me standing in the rain for about 15 minutes.
Just not opening the door?
The door.
Oh my God.
Just like I texted her, I called her, I was like, hello. And like in her defense, I was running 5 minutes late, but I gave her a notice that I was running late.
Late? She should be there.
I
Early is where
early is where she would not be at the door. That makes no sense.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. And so she left me standing in the rain, so I was like really annoyed, obviously.
Yeah.
And like when I went to go get all my stuff, she pretended like things were like totally fine and like that nothing happened. And it just filled me with like so much anxiety to like pretend. But it also like, I feel really, really guilty for like not wanting to be friends with her anymore, because in my brain, I'm like, well, that's not fair to her. But like what she did wasn't fair to me.
It was beyond unfair. It was actually like deeply unkind and manipulative.
Unkind and manipulative. You don't need to feel bad about anything in regards to her. She's hurt you in a way that like was kind of intentional seeming. Like at the very least, like she probably knew how that was all going to play out. She probably a while ago had decided that she wasn't going to pursue things with you, but still wanted to feel chased and liked by you.
Yeah, while you stayed chaste.
Yeah,
and
while
she
you
liked that of you.
Exactly. So
here
like,
you are. Yeah. Drop her like a hot tater. Drop her like a hot potato. And don't feel guilty.
Jeff's singing a lot of this up, but I think that probably you now the question is, do you want to let her know these feelings that you're having and how you feel manipulated and kind of abused from the situation?
And then also, should we send her a ton of money?
We're going to send her $100 million.
I've been going back and forth on whether or not I want to like confront her or just leave it be, because it's been a few weeks since she left me in the rain and since I got my stuff, and we haven't talked. And so like, I don't know if she's like kind of got the vibe that like I'm pretty much done with her crap, or if I should like reach out, because I don't want to beat a dead horse, you know what I mean? But like at the same time, I kind of feel like I deserve a little closure and I deserve an acknowledgement of like what she did to me.
Yeah, like it might, it's tough because in relationships, honestly, true closure comes within.
That's what I was going to say.
So it's like, if you're really looking for closure on the situation, then then you can.
I said it first.
Well, Jeff didn't say it first. It was sort of me, and then Jeff sort of piled.
But Rob's going to edit it, so
Rob's
I said it first.
So yeah, Jeff said it first.
Yeah, closure comes from within.
Within. So, but
can we get, do you mind if we get that clean?
Yeah, let's get it clean.
Closure? You talking to me? Can we just, just for Rob. Closure comes from within.
So basically what you're going to want to do is, I think, decide whether you want to like this. I don't think that meeting with her and saying what you're going to say is going to get you what you need. I really don't. That being said, I've been in relationships before where I'm like, I want to see their face when I tell them the ways in which they've wronged me. And I'm wondering, like, I don't know. Do you think there is a benefit to that? I've been in that situation and I've done it. And then afterwards I was like, I don't think I feel better, but I feel like different because I now like, I don't know. Like, what do you feel at the end of that? It's not really anything.
I think that like being vulnerable might just leave me in a more hurt position, because I've been vulnerable with her for the last
exactly
month, you know what I mean?
If you go to her and you try to have the honest conversation and you are mature and you're like, hey, your actions hurt me in these ways, can you acknowledge that? And then she doesn't, or she minimizes them, or maybe is defensive, that's going to feel worse than if you just moved on, which I think is a better way to protect your peace and like your growth. Yeah.
I've been in situations where I wanted to get the closure by having the like, let's just get coffee and we'll talk things through and it'll be like our like, final meeting at the end of the movie. And then after that happened, like a week later, I was like, well, I feel like we still have questions that are unanswered. We should probably do another coffee.
Sure.
And it's like, oh, this is never going to fucking end. Like, it's just like, you go and then you're not really getting the answers you look for. So you're like, that prompts more questions in your head about how you were hurt. And it just is ultimately the change that you need to move on from the situation is from you.
Yeah.
And I think that in the future, you can probably like know that if you're in a situation with someone that you feel like you're not getting what you need from it, you can be honest about that you are valuable enough to demand either like respect or just like you're valuable enough to demand answers from a situation. If you've been hanging out with someone for months and you're sort of like, there's a will they, won't they, and we said that we might, and you're allowed to be like, look, I need to know, or I don't know that we can hang out. And sometimes that holding your power out like that makes it a little bit easier than being like, well, I'm being cool. I'm kind of being relaxed.
The thing. That's what I did when I was younger. I was like, I want to be chill. I want to be like cool with anything. I don't want to be like high maintenance. Yeah. But it's like, that's not, you're asking kind of for the bare necessities or like the bare minimum. So you deserve better. And hey, if you're watching this later, you're the prize.
You're the prize.
Oh, I will be watching this later. You don't understand. Like, I watch this every Wednesday.
Oh,
I am the prize.
That's very sweet.
Every Wednesday. It's so, like, I am a hardcore Miles Nation fan, so the fact that you just called me, like, you literally made my entire year. I love you so much, Miles. Like, thank you for all that you do. You are the perfect person.
That's very sweet of you. Thank you for listening to the show. I do appreciate it. And you have a fantastic rest of your shift to get back to work, because there's a line piling up at the front of the restaurant.
You too. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Your listeners treat you so differently than mine do. They love you.
Well, my listeners are very genuinely like sweet and kind. And I feel so lucky for that, knowing how many like different subsets of circles there are on the internet. Some people, I look at your comments on the Headgum podcast, and they're fucking eviscerating you weekly.
I got a physical examination 2 days ago, and she was like, any swelling in your ankles? And I like almost broke down in tears because I was like, no, they're actually infamously thin. She didn't understand what was happening.
Because they were like thankles.
Thin ankles. People are seeing it. I don't like the wide shot, by the way.
You like the wide shot? Honestly, I'm going to move around the stuff at the studio so the wide shot looks a little better coming up soon.
Yeah. Thanks for waiting until after this episode.
I know, sorry. Well, you also took your shoes off, which I felt was a little inappropriate.
Really?
No.
I thought it was... Oh.
Well, Jeff, that brings us just about to the end of the show. Well, we have one final segment. Why are you laughing? What?
Because I forgot about the last segment.
Yeah. It's a segment where we kind of cut away all of the pretension and all the bullshit. It's a segment we like to call Get Real.
So, we're just supposed to talk about things that are emotionally very loud.
Well, Jeff, this is a segment where we force a genuine moment in an effort to learn more about ourselves and each other.
Really shoehorns it in, too. It's like, genuine moments have to be organic, of course.
Do you think that?
No. I think intimacy and partnership, especially, like you have to like make time for it, and you can schedule things.
This is interesting, actually. You're sort of a silly little Billy that's a tough nut to crack.
You think that about me?
Yeah, kind of.
I think we just haven't hung out outside of joking
That's
spheres.
a good point. Well, most of I would consider you like somebody I really like that's a friend of mine, but most of our interactions have been recorded.
Yeah, which is fine, but we should get clams and buzzballs.
We got to get clams and buzzballs.
At this point, we've said it enough that I would do that.
I am a huge fan of themed nights, by the way.
100%.
Going out for clams and buzzballs is so funny. Like, we get lit in the parking lot with a couple buzzballs going for some...
The parking lot? Where are you imagining this happens?
The parking lot of a restaurant that has baked clams.
Let's do our original plan, which was Negronis and oysters.
We're brown bagging buzzballs in the parking lot.
A round bag. What would be a round bag?
A sack.
We're still doing a bit. We're supposed to be getting real.
Okay.
If you press that once, how long does it go?
It just ended.
Oh, okay. You were just on it.
It was on the way to end, and then I said it. No, I do think
you think I'm a tough nut to crack?
Do you feel that way? Do you feel like when you're hanging out with your close friends or with your partner, do you feel like you have an easy time opening up emotionally?
Yeah. I do, actually. That's why I'm like, if we hung out outside of a recorded context, I would be genuine like that.
Yeah. What do you find that you're genuine about? That do you have a guard with newer people that you meet, or do you find that you're pretty open with everybody?
My personal philosophy, but what I've realized about myself is that like the first 90%, I'll tell to a complete stranger at a bar. And the last 10, you'll never find out unless we're having sex and in a committed relationship.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, you keep a little bit. I mean, I'm similar where like I will share if people ask. Typically, I'll say, especially because like I find that it helps me more than keeping it guarded would.
Yeah.
Sharing like intimate details about my life or like my past struggles or trauma or grief or whatever, sharing that stuff to anybody makes me feel better than keeping it.
Oh, I mean,
up.
Of course.
Yeah.
I do think that I don't know. Like everyone has like really deep-seated trauma, probably.
Yeah.
That I don't feel comfortable talking about. Even with partners, I've had to work through that. But I'm in a great committed relationship now.
You mean like traumatic events from your past?
That's trauma in Italy. I don't know.
Traumatic.
Yeah.
Traumatic events from your past you have difficulty opening up about to anybody, including your partner. I'm not pressing you by the face.
You did not. That's what no question
said.
mark.
That's what you said. I'm not pressing you.
90%. Yeah. The bulk of me, I'm an open book. And then there's 10% that I probably keep guarded because it's dark enough that I don't want to bother anybody with it. And it's hard to talk about. It's not fun to talk about. So if I'm with friends when we're out, I don't want to talk about it.
That's interesting. You know what? I feel similarly about myself where there's a bit like if it's something I've worked through, then I'm happy. If it's current, like I'm worrying that my heart's going to stop today.
Sure.
I have a harder time talking about that.
Wait, do you think you're going to, do you have heart disease in your family?
No.
You just are a hypochondriac, maybe?
I had like a heart situation that was a little scary, but it was only scary mentally. I went to a doctor. She put me on this medication that I was on for 5, 6, 7 years.
Was it a statin?
No, it was a calcium channel blocker because she thought I had what's called a mitral valve prolapse. Turns out I don't have a mitral valve prolapse. Went to a new cardiologist. He was like, you don't even need to be on this medication. But then I stayed on it because I was just so anxious about changing something.
Yeah.
And then went to a different cardiologist. He did an echo on my heart, EKG, and was like, yeah, you're fine. You're healthy. You don't even need to come back.
Yeah.
And then that sort of anxiety still lives in me. And I find that like the part that I have that I struggle with will be like, I'm in a group setting and I'm like, my heart's going to stop. My heart's going to stop. My heart's going to stop. And I have trouble bringing that up presently.
Yeah, that's hard. I mean, I just found out I have genetically high cholesterol.
Oh yeah,
very high, like 190, which is over 190, which is the indicator of this thing called familial hypercholesterolemia.
Oh, interesting.
And I've had similar anxieties, but was too scared to go to the doctor to confirm or deny because I was like, I know I have the cholesterol. I already got the blood work done. And I was like, there must be plaque building up in my arteries every hour.
Yeah, dude.
And I went to finally I went to go get a physical to be like, I can't have this high cholesterol. If you have this genetic condition, you need to be on a statin, which is an intense medicine. So I'm a little bit worried about that. I haven't started it yet. Yeah. But she immediately was like, I was like, I've had this high cholesterol knowingly for 3 years. Yeah. Do you think that I have just a ton of plaque in my arteries? And she's like, no, that takes decades.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Dude, oh my God. By the way, the feeling of so many times I've been like, I'm so anxious, I can't think about anything else. Going to a doctor and they're just like, I don't know really what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel so much better immediately. And it's like, this was just anxiety.
Do you have trouble trusting doctors though? Because especially a doctor that you're seeing for the first time and they don't actually care about you.
Yes.
That's how I feel this week.
I do have trouble trusting doctors. But a friend of mine,
you were really on it the first time.
Well, I'm not going to hit it again. At this time, there's sort of a segment of the Get Real where we're getting real and the music cuts out, and then it's just us getting real together. Mm-hmm. But no, I do have trouble trusting doctors because I think it's also like I'm just like, well, what if they're wrong, or what if they were busy, or like it's not even really just the trust. It's just like also a lot of doctors. I don't know, I've dealt with doctors through my whole life, but me, my brother, like stuff like that. So it's like they also are playing it by ear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And they wake up and they
wake up and they're not thinking about you.
Right.
And then they go to the job and they're like, see you for 5 seconds. And they're like, it's probably this.
They're worried about what they're going to have for dinner that night.
Yeah.
Should we cook or should we order in?
Yeah. And that's what's scary is that it's not like Grey's Anatomy, which I really wish it was.
Yeah.
But they're not that self-assured. They're like, it probably is this, but we'll just see. And it's like, that is so unhelpful to me.
Especially from a cardiologist where the we'll see is that I could be dead.
Yeah, it's like, I want you to tell me that I'm going to be healthy forever. And I know you can't promise me that, but that's what I like.
I don't need forever. I just need till 40. I want to enjoy my 20s and make bad decisions until I'm like 30 something.
Oh man, I want to live forever.
Yeah.
I'd love to be one of those guys that just for some reason it's like he's 1,000.
I don't want that.
Really?
I don't care when I die. I just don't want it to be really painful. And heart attacks, I'm sure, are really painful.
Oh man, I just want to. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about. I just am like, I'd love to just be around.
That's cool. It is.
Well, I think
it's cool to want to like life enough to want to be around for a long time.
If I'm gonna get real here,
in
the final seggy,
sound it out.
I think it's because I don't want to have to deal with, it's like I don't want to burden other people with having to deal with me being dead.
That's less of a burden than like being in a home. That's my fear, is that I'm burdening everybody, but I'm alive.
I get that, but I'm just like, I don't want other people to be like,
sad of you.
Like, yeah.
Well, I'm sorry today on the show while we're recording. People are sad of you already.
What does that mean?
I don't know how to be. That's Crystal for me.
People are sad for you in general.
Of you.
Well, Jeff, thanks for doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have anything to plug? Do you want people to find you on the internet so they can check out your work?
Listen to the Headgum podcast. Miles has been on three times?
3 times maybe.
Once, twice, 3 times of Miles. The first time you were on was one of my favorite episodes, but he's, if you look up Headgum podcast, Miles Bonsignore, he's on.
Came on the live stream that supposedly the footage is gone.
Footage lost. That was awful for me.
So
it was. Your segment was the only one that I'm like, oh, we missed that. We lost that. Everything else was like, whatever. Yeah. I should have sued. Anyway, the Headgum podcast, and you can follow me on Instagram at Geoffrey James, Geoffrey. And if you're a cardiologist, please tell me that I can do whatever I want.
I love that for us.
Yeah.
Check out Geoffrey everywhere on the internet. And if you're wondering out there if you're going to be okay, then I just need you to know that no matter where you are or what you're doing, perfection is only a call away.
That was a Headgum podcast.